We are all going through a lot of uncertainties and anxieties. So I thought it's high time we touched upon a taboo subject, and that is psychological counseling. Right now, with the COVID lockdown, job losses, pay cut, and a huge uncertainty that each one of us is going through, there are many people out there who are struggling. And that's nothing to be ashamed of. And leave alone all of this, there are people who have lost their loved ones in this. How do they grieve? They don't even have anyone around them because of social isolation and all of the other things. So I really think it's high time we started thinking of psychological counseling in a different light. I don't think it is something that should be frowned upon anymore. I really think it is something we should be making use of. It's a huge source of support for each one of us. I'm not saying every single person has to go out there and get support, but if you feel even a tiny bit that you need that support, this is the time to reach out for it. There are many facilities that you can avail now. There are many of these counseling services which are done online now through video calls, through just audio calls. Get expert help at the right time. I can tell you from experience how wonderful it is to get that help sometimes when you're not even aware that you need it. I'm Sheethal, and welcome to my channel. In many of those situations, a problem that you would face is a lack of people that you can talk to honestly about it. We have friends, but sometimes your friends might not be available. You would have your spouse, your mom, your grandmom, your father. But sometimes what happens is that you might not be able to own up and say many of the things that are running through your mind at that point in time. Because somewhere or the other, you're worried about hurting them, whether they'll see you in a different way. Some things sound really pathetic to your own ears. Some things sound extremely ungrateful, even as you're thinking through them. You have so many resentments building up, and sometimes you don't even know why those resentments are there. Logically, it doesn't make any sense, but they're there. That's the truth. Now, what do you do with those feelings? Sometimes that counseling might not even be giving you solutions. It's just somebody to talk to, somebody who is an objective third person, who you don't have enough of a relation for you to fear the judgment that they will have after this conversation, and is not emotionally invested in your life in any way. This gives you a wonderful sounding board and a freedom to express yourself in a way that you've never been able to do. All of those things that are bottled up inside you can come out without any filters. And being able to express without filters is an awesome feeling. I have to thank the company that I work for this. They have some wonderful policies for new moms and how they could be supported. This was an end-to-end program which had doctors and counselors reaching out, and they had this tie-up with a psychologist group, and you could avail those services free of cost for about 6 sessions. And you could choose whether you wanted an online session, whether you wanted on call, or whether you wanted in person. I opted for the on call option. It was a wonderful experience. When you are too emotionally invested in something, you have a way of looking at things, and it might not always be a balanced way of looking. Once you have somebody else talking to you about it, you might start thinking in a different way, in a more positive way. And there are also scenarios where you might need help, actual clinical help, where you might need medication. And that's nothing to be ashamed of. I didn't need it, but they were very clear in telling me, first off itself, that everything that I talk with them would be confidential, including my identity and everything. But the only time that they would reveal any of it would be if during the course of the counseling they felt that I would harm myself or somebody else, which I think is great. I finally understood that I don't need to feel guilty about whatever I was feeling. They were all normal feelings. I just needed to accept them and process through them. I also understood how I could touch base with myself in future whenever I was feeling such conflicting emotions. I was finally at peace with myself. Just reach out your hand, and hopefully, with this, you will be able to open a wonderful chapter of your life. If you like this video, do click on the like button. And if you haven't already, to subscribe to my channel. Until I see you again, stay safe.